Hello there, I'm Sean Greasley and welcome to another edition of our VB tutorials. In this tutorial, I'll be discussing how to link Microsoft Access databases into Visual Basic. Now, if you haven't done Access before, don't worry, I'm going to go through a little on how to create a sample table with a couple of fields in it. And what Visual Basic is, it's acting as a front end to your data in your database. Now, let's take a look at a little example I did at university. Okay. Now, it looks a little complex at the start, but not to worry. Here's the data within the database here. It consists of 9 records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you can see. You can add new records, delete records, search for records, a couple of special features, display all students which are taking virtual reality, for example. All the ones doing advanced web programming, there's none. And then if you move over here, you've got another 42 records which is linked to a different table on the same database. You can display a report for all the students within the system with their overall marks for each module. You can search up distinctive students for each modules. Distinctive means over 70%. You can customize sort students, say with a mark which is less than 60, who are taking web-based systems. Then you've got another option database, like say you can create new records, delete records, you can calculate places left on modules, and you can draw graphs as well. So this is what we're aiming to create. So I'm going to set down the backbone of the database, link it all up in our first tutorial. In our second tutorial we're going to add a few features into the database, and in our third tutorial we're going to finalize our database. So this whole tutorial consists of 3 parts. In our first tutorial we're creating the table and linking it into the VB environment. So if you go into Access, create a new blank database and save this when it decides to load as say tables. Put it in my VB folder here and create. There we go. So this is what Access looks like here. We want to create a table in design view, and these are the fields we're having in our sample database. So we've got a name of the person, the age of the person. Let's call these something more meaningful because we will be referring to these a lot. The hobby, say the hobby of the person, and a link to maybe a favorite website or something. So using these, we're going to have the name. It's going to be a text field and say 50 characters long. Next, age. It's not text, it's a number, so we set the data type to number. We then have, we may want to put validation on this. So an input mask of 00. It allows users to enter only 2 digits. Maybe someone's over 100, so we have 3. We then have the hobby of the user. This could be maybe a memo or a text, say a text. And then we have the link as well, say maybe a favorite website, 75. Some are quite long. So that's our sample table. Strangely crossing it off to actually save the table, but dear, it shouldn't be this slow really on a 3 GHz PC, but that's the way it is. So while that's saving, in order to link our database into Visual Basic, we need to create what's called a data control, which is here. This is it is visible and invisible. and you can use it to navigate through your database. So for example, if we run the program, we can use this to navigate through our records, or you can create your own buttons. It's totally up to you. That's our data control. I'll leave it visible for starters. So finally our table has been created, yes, and we'll call it profile. Do I want a primary key? No, I don't. So we've created a profile table in our database and called it profile. Now there's a bug within Visual Basic 6 at the moment. I'm not sure what the new .NET framework's got in store for this, but for version 6 you need to export or convert your database to Access 97 file format in order for it to link up with Visual Basic. Don't ask why, but this is how to get there. So Tools, Database Utilities, Convert Database and Access 97 file format. And call it, say, Tables 97. It's 97 format. Yes. So we've now made our database. What we need to do now is link it up to our project. So you click on your data object here. This houses the database. You then go to the database name property and find your database. So if we go to the desktop, Visual Basic here, and Tables 97. That's now linked the database into our data object here. Let's call it something meaningful like profile. Okay. Now, if we press play, nothing actually happens because we've only linked the database to the data store. We now need to link the fields to these text boxes. So let's highlight them all and go to data source. This is the source of the data. And click profile. This is the table within our database. Once we've added the database interaction to the data control, the table is now available to all elements on the form. So now we've highlighted all these and set the data source to the profile table, we can access each one individually and click the data field tab here. Oh, sorry, record source property. It's right there. You need to fill in the record source property of the data control. Record source. If I can find it. Data control. Go to record source and choose the table. There's a lot going on with databases, but once you've got it figured out, you're sorted. So data control, you add your database location, go to record source, add the name of your table, choose each element you want a field name in. So we want the name column from our database in our name text box. So you then set the data source to profile because it's pulling it from the profile table, and set the data field to name. Then with age, we want to access the age field, hobby, and link. And that's it. It's all linked up to our access database. But no information is in our table, so unfortunately we cannot test this. So stay tuned to the second tutorial, in which we'll put some data into our database and play around with it a little. So we'll create and delete some records. I'm Sean Greasley. Thank you for listening for our one of 3-part database tutorials, and stay tuned for the next one.